With the release date of Dragon Ball Sparking Zero being just around 9 weeks away now, a lot of us are curious about one of the biggest aspects of the game, that being what if scenarios in the main storyline, particularly in the Dragon Ball Super part of the story. Now, why the Dragon Ball Super part? Well, regarding the main storyline, it's been around for decades now, and we've discussed what if scenarios regarding the main story for those decades. And yes, don't get me wrong, there's still plenty of things that can surprise us with what if scenarios with the original Dragon Ball Z storyline. But with the Dragon Ball Super storyline, it's a lot fresher in our memories. Well, I say that, but it's like, what, 9 years old now? Dragon Ball Super started in 2015, which is just insane to me, the fact that that's 9 years ago. But when you look at the bigger picture, it is much fresher in our minds compared to the rest of Dragon Ball. And so we haven't discussed what if scenarios for Dragon Ball Super quite as much. Well, unless you're a manga reader. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, I'm going to discuss it in this video. I'm your boy Kaizen, like, subscribe, and let's get straight into the video. So firstly, what do we know about the main storyline in Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, specifically with the whole what if scenario stuff? Well, firstly, we know that there's optional routes with each saga. For example, if you're playing in the Raditz fight, you can decide if you want Krillin to come or not, I'm pretty sure. And of course, depending on your choices in the game, if you choose the mainline choices or if you choose to go another route, Goku goes Super Saiyan against Vegeta, which I can't wait to play through. It's just crazy. And the fact that they're willing to show that to us within these trailers, it just makes you wonder what kind of crazy stuff are they hiding if that's what they're revealing to us already. Now, in a way, you could say that the Dragon Ball Z what if scenarios are a lot more unpredictable than what the Dragon Ball Super what if scenarios could be. Now, why is that? Well, that's because I believe that it's possible that the Dragon Ball Super what if scenarios could take inspiration from the Dragon Ball Super manga. Now, why is that? Well, that's because there are a lot of major differences between the Dragon Ball Super manga and the Dragon Ball Super anime, and I am talking about major scenes, not like slice of life episodes and scenes. I'm talking about major differences in like fight scenes. Now, for those of you who are more anime guys and not too familiar with the DBS manga, you're probably wondering, Kaizen, what on earth are you talking about? Well, let me explain. Now, I know nowadays, well, of course Dragon Ball Super's manga is on hiatus because Toriyama died, rest in peace to the GOAT, and we'll see what happens regarding that. But while Dragon Ball Super was airing, the anime, it was actually ahead of the manga. The manga didn't start till later on. So the Dragon Ball Super anime was original. It had its own writers. Toriyama was obviously overseeing it. And then the manga came along and was by Toyotaru with, of course, Toriyama overseeing it. And it wasn't until Dragon Ball Super the anime ended and the manga continued that the manga actually went ahead and passed the anime, as in it went ahead of the storyline. But of course, Dragon Ball Sparking Zero is going to only cover what the anime covered. But what you may not have known is that when the Dragon Ball Super manga was ongoing, even though it was behind the anime, it did things differently to the anime. And there are certain scenarios in this manga which were, in many people's opinions, better than the anime. And even if they weren't better and it's just people liking something different, that's still crazy that it's comparable to the anime. And it's huge differences. And I'm going to give you some of my top differences that I think we could see in what if scenarios in this game. Now, real quick, before I drop those differences and what I want to see in this game and what if scenarios, please do like and subscribe, hit that button down below, it's free, and I'm really trying to get to 1,000 subs this year, so help me out with that, and yeah, let's get into it. So now, I know I'm really skipping a lot of arcs going into the Tournament of Power, but there's one thing that I loved about the Tournament of Power that we didn't get in the anime. And I get why they did it, and that's Gohan versus Kefla. Now, if you didn't know, well, you probably do know this. Obviously in anime, Goku Ultra Instinct Sign takes out Kefla in one of the best fights in anime. I know that's probably biased because I love Dragon Ball and I don't care. Argue with me if you want, it's one of the best. That Kamehameha is one of the best attack sequences in all of shonen anime, you know? It replayed 3 different times. You know how sick it is for it to replay 3 different times? That's how good it was. Sliding Kamehameha. And yes, don't get me wrong, I want to see that in Sparking Zero. I want to see in any form of Dragon Ball media, whether it's a game, a movie, anime, whatever it is. Even the manga, it would have been cool to have that. But I'm just saying, and a lot of people agree with this, what they went with alternatively is amazing, because yeah, listen, we love Ultra Instinct, but it gets plenty of spotlight. But with Gohan, I know he gets a lot of spotlight later on in like the superhero movie and whatnot, and later in the manga in the most recent chapters, but in the Tournament of Power, he was the captain. And don't get me wrong, he got spotlight even in the anime, but it wasn't like that, you know. He wasn't one, I mean, I guess he was one of the top guys, but he didn't get a huge moment like Vegeta did against Toppo, like Goku did against everyone, Kefla and Jiren. And yeah, that's why I loved what the manga went for. And if you don't know, basically, instead of Goku taking on Kefla, it was Gohan. And you might be wondering, how on earth can Gohan take on Kefla? Like, how does that power scaling work? Well, I guess you could partly credit it to Gohan's training prior to the Tournament of Power, but also, I'm not gonna lie, in the manga she didn't come across as strong as in the anime, although it could be said, I'm not sure if she went Super Saiyan 2 in the manga or not. There's a lot of like little differences that's hard to pick up on the manga unless you like read into it. And when I say read into it, I mean like do some background searches. Or I don't know, maybe I'm wrong about that, but you get the idea. And he did take her out of the tournament, but also he lost himself. It was kind of like a draw, but he was like, if I'm going out, I'm taking you out with me. And that's what he did. And I thought that was really cool. And it was very captain-like of him. So that's one thing that I would love to see as a what if scenario in this game, in the main storyline. But of course, that doesn't mean they should take out the sliding Kamehameha scene with Goku vs Kefla. We need that as an option, but it would be cool to have the alternate, you know, storyline. Of course, there are alternate storylines in this game, but I'm saying I want that as one of them. And of course, differences like this would add such great replayability to this game's story mode, you know what I mean? So that's one of my top choices. And by the way, if you're just listening to the audio for this, just so you know, I am putting the panels on screen, like about what I'm saying, like Gohan versus Kefla. So yeah, you should be able to see that there in case you haven't read the manga. And by the way, I haven't read the manga thoroughly. I'm going to do a beginning to end read soon. I've read like bits and pieces, especially since it continued from where the anime left off. But yeah. Now, one other huge thing that I want to see as an alternate storyline, or you know, story decision in this game, an alternate scenario, is in the Goku Black saga. And we might get confirmation for this sooner rather than later. For one big reason. Well, two reasons, because it looks like we are getting a Dragon Ball Super arc, Super storyline trailer soon, based on the recent Psycho jump scans. If you don't know, I did do a video on that recently. I'll link it at the end of this video. But yeah, check that out later. But yeah, it looks like we'll get a trailer for the Dragon Ball Super storyline. But even besides that, there's one big reason why I think we'll get confirmation on this what if scenario for Dragon Ball Super, the Goku Black saga. And that is that I think this relates to the pre-order bonus character. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about, I did do a video on it, but I'll just tell you. I think the pre-order bonus character is gonna be Super Saiyan Goku Black. Not Super Saiyan Rose, not base, Super Saiyan with the yellow hair, the golden hair, Goku Black. Because if you didn't know, in the Dragon Ball Super manga, when Goku, Vegeta and Trunks go to Trunks' future where Zamasu and Goku Black are hiding, and they take him on, Goku Black actually goes regular Super Saiyan, which I thought was really cool. I know, like, don't get me wrong, I'm not gonna like try and deny it. Rose is cooler, and it kind of makes sense, you know, he's a black rose, he has the divine energy and whatnot. But I do wish we at least got the Super Saiyan form of his, and it's just a really cool difference. And I think that would make for the perfect pre-order bonus character, and would be the perfect way to hype up that what if scenario, you know, due to the fact that it's a pre-order bonus. And you know, it's an extra character, we could see how he scales up, all that good stuff. And maybe they could make it so that he goes from Super Saiyan to then Rose. Maybe we could see Trunks actually taking him on head on. Well, I know he does take him on head on, but you know what I mean. Maybe we could see him kind of get the upper hand, and then suddenly, you know, Goku Black goes Rose. Now, those are two of the big ones. To be honest with you, there are so many differences in the Dragon Ball Super manga, and a lot of them can be easily incorporated into a what if scenario, or multiple what if scenarios. But also there are some differences in the manga that are much smaller, which some of which we just won't be able to fit into this game, but some of which, I don't know, maybe they can make like a small appearance. I'm just gonna quickfire some of the cooler scenarios that we could see, but just know that there are also smaller scenes, some of which would make it into the game and some of which probably just won't fit in. But with these big ones, which I think we could really see, the first one is, I think Merge the Muscle actually defuses after an hour in the manga, so that would be cool to see, and it would really change things up, like how it would end. Maybe instead of just Trunks getting the final spotlight, Goku and Vegeta can hop into. Although then again, I kind of like Trunks getting the spotlight, finishing off Zamasu. Maybe Vegeta and Goku can finish off Zamasu and Trunks fights Goku Black because he has personal beef with him, killing his mom and all that. Also in the manga, the God of Destructions have an all-out battle. I know they kind of get into it in the anime as well, but in the manga they're ordered to go all out against each other, and anyone who seems weak will be erased, I think. Let me know down below if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure this is the case. I've done some research. Also, something that would make for a really cool level is Merge Zamasu actually like duplicates himself. I think he makes an army of himself. That's really cool. I'm also curious about how some of these what if scenarios could get cool dialogue, which we see in the manga. For example, in the manga, like they specifically say like Jiren is stronger than Belmont. Is that his name? Belmont? And also in the manga, I'm pretty sure future Trunks beats Super Saiyan 3 Goku, and then Goku has to go Super Saiyan God. So it could be a cool mini level or like a little not so important what if scenario where you have to beat Super Saiyan 3 Goku as Trunks. Then again, that might be a bit extra, but you get what the major what if scenarios could be. Oh, and how could I get one of my favorite moments in the manga, and that's when Goku does a Hakai on Zamasu. I feel like that would just be such a cool thing, just a cool attack to have, whether it's a cutscene or an attack or whatever. And I can't remember the exact moment that this happened. Obviously they have multiple fights against Zamasu and Goku Black, and I'm pretty sure he was immortal at this time, or if he was merged then maybe he wasn't fully immortal. It's hard to say. That was always like a bit confusing, like he was half immortal or something like that. And I'm pretty sure like Beerus states that he can't Hakai someone that's immortal. So is that why Goku wasn't able to like Hakai him to death, or is Goku just not able to do it perfectly because he's not a god of destruction? Either way, that's something that we would love to see, because I remember when the manga panel for that came out, it kind of went viral, even though the anime had ended at that point, or had at least fade past Goku Black saga. So yeah, that would be great to see. And honestly, all this just begs the question, like, are these different manga scenarios the perfect way for Dragon Ball Sparking Zero to do some what if scenarios for the Dragon Ball Super arcs? Or do you think they can even go further and change it even differently from the manga? Or even have multiple options, the manga options, the anime options, and then a completely different option for all of these different story moments? Do let me know down below what you think. And what are you looking forward to seeing the most, and what if scenario would you want to see the most? Let me know down below. Don't forget to subscribe, it is free. Just hit that button down below, help me get to 1,000 subs, and who knows, maybe one day I'll become a big YouTuber and you can say you're an OG on my journey. The first 1,000. Because I am trying to get to 1,000 this year and you could help me out. So like and subscribe, check out my other videos on screen now. I do videos on Sparking Zero, Bleach Rebirth of Souls, and some other stuff coming soon. I do have a Dragon Ball FighterZ ready to post any day now. Oh, and don't forget to follow my socials in the description below, my Twitter and my Twitch particularly. I do yap a lot on Twitter about stuff I wouldn't talk about here. I talk a lot about anime, about games, and everything else in between. And also my Twitch, because I want to start streaming soon. I will stream on this channel soon, but I don't want to spam people's feeds, so I will stream a lot on Twitch, so follow those. And yeah, I've been your boy Kaizen, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.